I'm feeling it. My bones telling me it's right. It's so different. But when you take me to the light, it's like a cigarette. And I'm burning at your lips. Start so innocent. Then you kick it up, and now I want to show you all what you deserve. And know we got so much to learn. And just like when we said I do, and it's only you that can do it like that. Yeah. I like it with you. I like it with you. I like it with you. In the sand that we'll dance. We ain't got no plans. You. I like it with you. I like it with you. And the hours will melt all night long. I like it when you close all the curtains. You're taking up the trash and the burdens. We got all the time, ain't no worries. I like it with you in it. And make me take a little look. Can we finish it? And then get busy getting back into the thick of it, yeah. Take a second, breathe it in. Now out again. I'm still understanding just how you do. The magic when you look at me. Know what I'm saying? It inside your seat. Oh, and just like when we said I do. And it's only you who could do like that. It's only you who could do like. I like it with you. I like it with you. I like it with you. In the sand that we dance. We ain't got no plans. You. I like it with you. I like it with you. And the hours will melt all night long. I like it when you close all the curtains. You're taking up the trash and the burdens. We got all the time, ain't no worries. I like it when you tell me that you love it. And when you pull the strings, I'm a puppet. Even when it rains, we above it. I like it with you. I like it with you. I like it with you.
É desse jeito, é desse jeito. Só leva chifre quem não faz amor direito. É desse jeito, é desse jeito. Só leva chifre quem não faz amor direito. Só leva chifre quem não faz amor direito. E mais um.
Camisinha ruim, quase não satisfaz. Mas hoje eu tô vendo a falta que ela me faz. Camisinha ruim, quase não satisfaz. Mas hoje eu tô vendo a falta que ela me faz.
Camisinha ruim, quase não satisfaz. Mas hoje eu tô vendo a falta que ela me faz. Camisinha ruim, quase não satisfaz. Como ficar rico se nós tem pensão demais? Se eu vou lá no sapo, me chama de pai. Na igrejinha me chama de pai. Se eu E como ficar rico se
Me faz eu me faz eu
mais um.
Camisinha ruim, quase não satisfaz. Mas hoje eu tô vendo a falta que ela me faz. Camisinha ruim, quase não satisfaz. Mas hoje eu tô vendo a falta que ela me faz.
Como ficar rico
this cold heart of mine. She really took a beating before you. You stuck through blizzards, winter nights with you. Now I'm blooming just for you, for you. There's nothing I wouldn't do 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 for you. For you.
The year is 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony, until one day a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
You've been knocked down and got up again. In a corner, you're surrounded, no defenders. You've hid your fury and kept it in. But it's time now, you ignite and turn to embers. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
Get ready for verse 2, Electric Boogaloo.
You see the truth behind the veil, and you know that they're just looking for attention. Oh, you don't let the ruthlessness prevail. Oh, it's time now, light your fires for ascension. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right
Mic check, mic check. 1 2 1 2.
your wings to rise from the ashes. Let you down, but you get up. They let you drown, but you don't stop. You show 'em you're a phoenix.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Motive Racing YouTube channel for tonight's action here at Donington Park. We're here for round 6 of the GT3 Championship here on a Saturday course competizione on the PlayStation 5. And I'm delighted to say we've got a full grid here tonight. 29 drivers in the session. Obviously, you can have 30 in the sessions here on ACC on the PlayStation 5 version, but with a commentator counting as a driver essentially, or it takes up space in the server, it means that we've got 29 spots on the grid, which is obviously great to see that we filled them all up. And as always, the turnouts this season have been really fantastic. And want to make a quick little plug whilst we're on the stream as well. If any of the drivers are listening at the moment, or anybody watching who's a friend of any of the drivers is interested in a GT2 championship, which I'm hopefully thinking of starting up on Wednesday nights, then definitely go to the announcements section on the Discord server and like that post, because I'm definitely looking to try and get that started up next season. It'll be, as I say, Wednesday nights. We used to run GT4 on Wednesday nights a long time ago, so be really cool to get something going on Wednesday nights. Let us know. Just like that post if you want it. I said I need 20 likes to get it going, but I think if we get 15 likes, I might just crack on with it, and then hopefully we can fill in the rest of the seats later. But yeah, just if you fancy a bit of GT2 next season, once the because that DLC comes out in 2 days' time on the PS5, so yeah, it'd be good to get that started up soon. But yeah, let us know, guys, because as I say, one day a week at the moment, it's not enough for me. I need more. I need more content. I need more excitement to get me through the days. But yeah, definitely, if you're interested in that, go to the announcements page, like that post. Even if you're not driving here tonight, if you're available on Wednesday nights, then definitely feel free to do that. But nonetheless, we are here in the early stages of the qualifying session right now, and we currently got a familiar face here, a very long time ago, since he's raced here on the Motive Racing YouTube channel, but his name is Unorthodox. Some of you will know, used to commentate here on the channel, also used to commentate alongside myself back in the day as well. In fact, let me just quickly switch over to the, let me switch my HDMI cable so you can actually see the action clearly here. It's a little bit broken at the moment, so here we go. Right, now you've got the proper screen on, so here we go. Here is the man, Dan. He's Dan the man. Usually has a plan. When he doesn't, it usually goes down the pan. That was a catchphrase that I coined a while back, and generally speaking, that is the case. He's obviously a multiple champion here at Motive Racing. The first championship he won was the LMP2s back on Project Cars 2. He then went and won the GT5 Genetta Cup as well a couple of seasons after that. And what was the other ones that he won? He definitely won another championship. I can't quite remember now. It's a while ago. I won't lie to you. But yeah, he used to commentate as well. He used to make the thumbnails. I still use the same template now, the same thumbnail template that I used when he used to make the thumbnails way back in the day, albeit with a slight variation because I'd never actually got the files off of him, but I essentially used I made a grid out of his thumbnails, and that's what I still use to this day. So incredible, but I don't do it as good as he does. I'll have to admit that freely, because I'm not a graphic designer like he is. But nonetheless, good to see him back out on track again. Big one welcome back to you, Dan. We've got Thomas currently leading the session though on a 26.7. It's a very tight leaderboard actually between the top three. You've got Thomas, R. Lamper and PS Vids separated by half a tenth of a second at the moment, so it's extremely tight here between these drivers. R. Lamper there, P2, PS Vids in third. You've got Ludo, who's currently in 4th place at the moment in this session. Ludo, our championship leader this season, looking very likely that he's going to be taking the title here for the GT3s. He's been really, really strong over the course of this season as Ludo. Won last week at Misano, also won 3 weeks ago at Silverstone as well. He's taken 2 wins so far this season, but the main feather in his cap this season has been his consistency. The fact that he's been in the top 5 in 5 out of the 6 races this season. No, sorry, check that. I think I've got to check that, because I think that might actually be wrong. That might actually be factually incorrect. Let me just pull the standings up. It might even be that he's taken the top 5 in all the races, and that he's had a podium in 4 out of the 5 or 5 out of the 6. Yeah, it is. So he's had a podium in 4 out of the 5 races this season, and it's been in the top 5 in all 5 races. Only not on the podium in one of the races this season, Ludo. So he's got a lot to live up to here tonight at Donington. He's currently 4th at the moment in this qualifying session, but he's less than 700ths of a second off of the provisional pole time being set by Thomas. But 2 drivers we've got to watch out for tonight are these two, Jazzman and Tynus. They're making their usual fortnightly appearance here on the Motive Racing channel. These guys are not regular drivers this season. They race when they can because they're competing in another competition which also runs every fortnight, so they're here when they can be here. But good to see them out on track as always. We just about had enough space for them here tonight. We're very close to a full grid every week, but usually we have a couple of regulars that can't make it, and luckily for them we had just enough. We've literally got a full grid, 29 cars out on the track, so we couldn't have judged it more perfectly in terms of those who couldn't race and those who could. But a few comments coming in here on the YouTube stream here tonight. We got Archie in the comments, says, good luck everyone. I doubt I'll be remotely quick due to this chest infection, but I'll try my best. Obviously, big respect to Archie for jumping in despite the fact that he's suffering from a bit of an ailment here tonight. And hopefully he can do a good job there from P26 on the grid. Yeah. Zillabang says, hi guys, have fun racers. That's obviously error code there. His YouTube name is Zillabang, but error code. Where is he actually? Is he? Oh, he's still in the pits, so he's not doing a lap time at the moment, so he needs to get himself out there. Fury's Grandad says, come on, Simplay drivers. Obviously, back in the guys, Unorthodox, Matahimovic, Gary, who else? Actually, I'd say, Hypertech as well, I think. You could sort of say the Mutts, Nuts and Smokey, but I mean, they were actually Motive first. Sorry, Simplay. No beef. But yeah, currently we got Thomas sat on provisional pole here by just a hundredth of a second. Ludo improved his lap time ever so slightly there, but not by enough to move himself into P1. But still very tight between the top four at the moment. Currently 600ths of a second between Thomas, Ludo, Arlamper and PS Fids. So it's an extremely tight qualifying session here tonight. We've got PN Motorsport says, good luck all Simplay drivers. All the best to the Simplay lads. Michael J says, Corey Smith says, hope you're all good, Andy. Not spoken in a while, mate. Hope everything's good. Yeah, I'm alright, mate. Not too bad. Been a long time. Yeah, good to see you, Corey. For those of you who don't know, Corey did actually win the GTEs here at Motive on Project Cars 2 back in the very early days of Motive under the alias Smithy is Faster. But yeah, good to see you, mate. Welcome back. And yeah, nice to see that you're watching. We've got everybody out on track right now except for Codlungu and obviously the guys who appear to be starting from the back here. So I'm not quite sure why there's so many drivers in the pits. I understand why Jazzman and Tynus are, because they're reserves and because they're so quick. They like to challenge themselves and try and come back through the pack. You know, every race this season that Tynus has driven in, he's managed to come from the back to win. So based on the form of this season, I would say it could be quite likely that we see a Tynus win here tonight. I don't want to like... I really don't want to tempt fate, but 2 weeks ago he won at Kota from the back of the grid, and then 4 weeks ago, 2 weeks before that, he won at Kyalami from the back of the grid. So, you know, if form's anything to go by, then Tynus has got a good chance here tonight. Corey says, just bored working away, so thought I'd give it a watch. Good to see it still going after everything. Yeah, there's been a few twists and turns, hasn't there? But when you got somebody like me who's crazy enough to spend their evenings 2 hours a night shouting at the TV, watching real people driving pretend cars, then generally I think something will have the potential to survive quite a while. But yeah, we've got currently watching Thomas here coming down towards the foggy S's, and he's our provisional pole sitter right now in that number 78 BMW. Thomas is riding high in the championship this season. I think he's third in the championship after the last week, came P2 in the race at Misano. And he's been very consistent actually over the course of this season. This is his first full season here at Motive. He was a reserve last season, made a couple of appearances here and there. But yeah, this season he's been there for every single race, and it is, in fact, he is third in the championship. He's one place behind Matahimovic. You've got Ludo leading the championship on 284 points, 54 clear of Matt in second on 230. Thomas is only 6 points behind him on 224. So he's not far off of the battle for second place in the championship. I'd say Ludo is very likely going to win this championship. He's not going to wrap it up just yet because there's 60 points for a win, and we're still well away from... we've still got 2 rounds after this, so he's not going to wrap it up tonight. But maybe potentially Ludo could be looking at next week as his opportunity to wrap the championship up. If he's more than 60 points ahead after next week's round, then he would have the championship in the bag. So he's not far away at all now. Ludo within striking distance of getting himself a Motive Racing Championship. But I'm sure he'll be looking to go for the win here tonight and go for the win next week, and probably go for the win at the final round of the season as well, because in all the races bar the first race of the season, he's taken the win in Tynus's absences. The race winner in the first race of the season was Arlampa, actually in quite dominant fashion as well. But yeah, Ludo's taken both of the wins where Tynus and Jazzman haven't been racing this season, apart from Arlampa taking the opening round of the season, that is. We've got Corey in the comments. He goes, what is the race format? It's 15-minute qualifying, and then the race is very simple, 1 hour with a mandatory pit stop that can be done at any time. So you can do that pit stop on the first lap, you can do it on the last lap. There's no pit window, and there's also no requirements in the pit, so you can come in and change tyres, you can come in and do a stop go, you don't need tyres, you can put fuel in, you can run a full tank from the start and run light and have more pace but have to put more fuel in, you know, up to you what you do. Ultimately it's up to the drivers what they want to do. And it does mix up the strategy a bit because you spend longer in the pit box if you put more fuel in, and obviously you spend longer in the pit box if you change tyres as well. So although you get the quicker pace throughout the first stint and the second stint for that matter, you're probably going to suffer in terms of the pit loss time. So it's a bit of a trade-off, and that's why a lot of practice can come in handy here, because you can get an idea with the track temperature in the servo in the week building up to the race is always the same, or it's always similar because the settings are always the same. So if you get in and you practice a little bit, you can kind of get a gauge of what to expect. So you're sort of prepared for all scenarios. But there is variability in there, and I like to do that because it kind of makes it a bit unpredictable, makes it more like real life, because in real life you're not going to be absolutely 100% sure what the conditions are going to be. Obviously you've got an idea, but you're not going to be completely in the know. He says, what's the best format with pit stop and everything? Well, it depends. If it's a high track temperature, then probably running a half tank, putting fuel in and changing tyres is going to help. But if it's quite a cool track and it's not very hard on tyre deg, you're probably best off putting a full tank in and running the same tyres from start to finish, because then you're not really going to suffer much drop off. And yeah, the full tank will obviously slow you down in the first stint, but then in the second stint it's not going to make any difference. So apart from the fact that the drivers who are probably half tanking will probably have fresh tyres on for the second stint, but then if the tyre deg's not too bad, it's not going to cost you too much. And you know, the extra time in the pits will cost you if you're not really getting the benefit off of it due to the others having tyre deg. So yeah, around this circuit here tonight at Donington, I'm not the expert. I don't really play the game too much. I'm mainly a commentator. You'd have to ask the drivers out on track. I'm not 100% sure. Again, I'm going to find out tonight. This is where I find out. I don't really know until we go into it. So that's more of the excitement for me. It's not really knowing what to expect. So it's usually a surprise for me as well, as I see it develop in front of me. And that makes it more authentic as well, because you're getting my genuine reactions to what's going on. I genuinely don't know what the strategy is going to be. I don't know what the quickest way around is. It's all a bit of a mystery. But we've got Thomas here at the Provisional Pulses coming out of Melbourne. He's coming towards the final corner now. And can he improve his lap time here? You've got a few drivers there still on lap times. Ludo's binned it, the championship leader there, putting it into the wall. That's his session done. Arlampa's pulled off to the side as well. He's now done for the session. Thomas has bailed into the pits. He's not going to improve at the end of this session either. We've got PS Fids coming through the foggy S's right now. Unorthodox is coming through the middle sector. He's coming towards the end of the lap now. He'll be just over halfway around the lap. But PS Fids, I think, has pulled off to the side. He's done for the session as well. PS Fids is not going to improve. What about Dan? Here he comes then. Into the foggy S's now. He's just got this final sector and to negotiate, keeps it within track limits. Quite a cautious run there through the foggy S's. Goes a little bit wide on the exit, trying to maximise his speed. Down towards Melbourne he comes, taking a wide entry there, right onto the white lines, just hitting the curb a little bit there on the outside. Nice entry. A little bit of a twitch there, getting onto the power, but holds it together. Has he backed off? No, he's keeping it going. He's still flat to the boards here. Down towards the final corner comes Dan. Currently P5 in this session. On his reappearance here at Motive. Out of the final corner he comes. Here we go then. What's it going to be? To the line here for Unorthodox. And he comes over now. P5 can't improve. That is it for the session then. So it's Thomas who will be on pole, with Ludo in second place. Arlampa third ahead of PS Fids. Unorthodox lining up in P5 on his return here to Motive. Absolutely fantastic to see. I know he's been doing some bits on R Factor. I've seen some of his streams actually. I think he's been doing really, really well in I've seen FRL touring cars. Had a little look at that. Done a fantastic job there. But yeah, Unorthodox there, P5, Guido Chris 6th, with Kodalungu in 7th place, Dimensa in 8th, Matimovic 9th, and Gary completing the top 10. Then you've got Tunde Meridoise following Matev with Remster in P14, Sean 15th with Snoopy in P16, and then Lexi Mate, Smoky Devil, Scooter Paul with a Mutsnuts P20, Cosmic Mike 21st ahead of Hypertech, and then you've got the drivers who didn't set lap times. So Jazzman, luck of the draw for him, starting 23rd ahead of all of the others who didn't do lap times. Chris 24th, Cosmic Crusader 25th, Tinus 26th, Erico 27th, Archie 28th, and Glenn 29th place. But here we go then, guys. This is it. We are moments away from the start of the 6th round of the GT3 Championship here at Motive on the PlayStation 5 platform. 6th round of 8 races. 3 races left, including tonight. I'm just going to quickly run through the championship standings before we get going for the formation lap, so you guys have a bit of an idea of what the situation is in the standings. Obviously, keep an eye on the left-hand side, and you'll see you'll recognise some of the names that I'm reading out here. But Ludo leads the championship on 284 points, and he is 54 points ahead of Matahimovic, who is in second on 230. Then you've got Thomas, who's third on 224 points, followed by Archie, who's fourth on 216. Archie third in the championship last year, came close to a second place in the championship, but ended up getting overhauled by Totally Zero. Can he get himself back on that rostrum again here this season? We got fifth in the championship, who's Snoopy on 196 points, ahead of Guido Christian sixth on 172. Then you got Daz Automatic in seventh on 170 points. Daz isn't here this week. I didn't realise he wasn't going to be here. It's a bit strange. You've got Arlamper in 8th on 160 points, ahead of LOL 3000 in 9th on 154. Then you've got Leximate P10 on 150. Totally Zero in 11th on 144, ahead of Matev in 12th on 140. Also tied with Cosmic Mike, who's 13th on 140. Is Cosmic Mike here actually? I haven't seen. Oh, he is, yeah, 21st. Yeah, we got Remster in 14th on 136, followed by Codlungu, who is in 15th on 130 points. Tinus is in 16th on 120 points, having driven in 2 rounds this season, and he's won both of them. Luca 17th on 110 points. Luca also not here tonight as well, notable absentee. Despite having so many drivers not here this week, we've still got a full grid. Just goes to show how many drivers we've got who are ready to jump in as reserves, which is absolutely brilliant. So it's honestly, that's why I want to get this GT2 Championship going on a Wednesday, because there's so many drivers who miss out on a Sunday will have a chance to race on a Wednesday. And also, I'm reluctant to set up 2 tiers because I'd rather have 1 full tier than have 2 half full tiers. But at the same time, I want to give people a chance to race. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, on that GT2 topic, check out announcements, guys, if you haven't already. But yeah, back to the leaderboard anyway. Hypertech 18th in the championship on 108 points. Aerocode 19th on 106. PS5 sits 20th on 100 points, followed by Chris in 21st on 92. Gary 22nd on 88. Sean 23rd on 86. Robe 24th on 84 points. Had a Scooter Paul in 25th on 80. You got Toonday 26th on 78 points. Mary Louise 27th on 70. Diamenta 28th on 60. We've got the Mutts Nuts in 29th on 58. Jazzman 30th on 54 points. Awesome Gumball 31st on 54. MVGT 32nd on 52. Senna 33rd, having driven 1 race at Kota on 44 points. Spur Time 34th on 36 points. Glenn 35th on 36 points, as well as Terranova 36 on 32 points. Cosmic Crusader is 37th on 28 points. DGRDW Racing 38th on 20 points. EVP Red Bull left the server after 1 race, 39th on 18 points. Smoky Devil 40th on 14 points. The only driver who's turned up this season yet to put a point on the board is WCRS Fusion, who's 41st on Nilpois so far this season. Also want to shout out to him because I know he was planning on racing tonight but couldn't due to a personal family matter. So all the best to you, mate. Obviously I know the situation there, and hopefully all is well, or hopefully all is better than it was. And yeah, thoughts going out to you and your family at the moment. But yeah, hopefully everything's getting better as we speak. But here we are then, guys. We're coming through the Fodder guesses on this formation lap, coming towards the end of the lap here. About to go racing here for the 6th round of the season here at Donington Park for the GT3 Championship here on ACC on the PlayStation 5. Got plenty of comments coming in here. Corey Smith, have you seen the Le Mans Ultimate game? Looks mega. I think I'll have to get it for PC when I get back home. Yeah, I've seen it on YouTube. I've seen some YouTubers playing it. See, it looks really good. I haven't had a chance to play it myself. Don't get to race much nowadays, but I definitely will be buying it at some point when I get a chance. Raki says, good evening all, shout out to the lads, full grid again, nice. Yeah, I'm absolutely stoked to see this grid, and good luck. We've got, don't know how to pronounce your name, but yeah, thank you for wishing the drivers all the best here tonight. But here we are then, guys, coming out of the final corner here at Donington, about to go racing here for the 6th round of this season. You've got Thomas there ahead of Ludo on the front row, Arlamper and PS Fids behind them, with Unorthodox and Guido Chris on row 3. So here we go then, so we're over the line, we're underway here. And it's Thomas who leads coming in towards turn 1. Ludo on the outside though has got a decent run. Is he going to be able to go around the outside of Red Gates as Ludo can't make it happen? As Arlamper's looking up the inside of Ludo here coming out of turn 1. We've got somebody a bit wide there on the runoff on the grass there a little bit. But Unorthodox here I think is challenging on the back of Ludo and Arlamper. He's managed to get ahead of PS Vids here on this through turn 1. So Unorthodox really up in position there. But it's Thomas from Arlamper, from Ludo from Unorthodox, with PS Vids completing the top 5. You've got Guido Chris ahead of Gary, followed by Dimenta, Matahimovic and Mary Louise in 10th place, followed by Tunde Matev, Remster Snoopy, Scooter Paul in 15th place, Smoky Devils, the Mutts Nuts, Tynus is already up a few places, up into 18th place. It's been a good start there from him. We've got Hypertech there behind him, ahead of Jazzman, who's already up in 20th place as well, so he's had a good start as well. Cosmic Mike is in 21st place, ahead of Lexi Mate, followed by Archie, Chris and Glenn in 25th place. And then you've got Ericode, Cosmic Crusader, Sean and Codalung, who started from the pits and is still yet to leave the pits despite the leaders being halfway around the first lap. So Codalungu again failing to ready up at the start. It's been unfortunately a recurring theme here for this season. But Thomas here coming into Melbourne for the first time here at Racing Speeds, as we all see them coming into this braking zone now, and we've got a move being shaped up here actually. Mary Louise down the inside, oh he goes deep though, and he can't get the move done on Dimenta for the time being. Dimenta gets a cut back out of Melbourne, and Mary Louise down a couple of places there. He's now on the inside of a Ferrari, which I think is Remster here, and he's actually, yeah, Remster in fact. So that is, yeah. Oh, somebody's in the wall. Is that Matev? Matev's lost it out of the final corner. Matev's dropping down the order here. So Matev there binned it onto the wall on the inside of Melbourne. In the last corner. And he's had to come into the pits for damage repairs. Archie into the pits as well. No surprise there. We see Archie coming into the pits a lot on the first lap. But Archie, Matev, Sean, Cod obviously has not left the pits since the start of the race, but Archie, Matev and Sean coming in at the first lap. I think Matev's is for damage. I don't think that was a scheduled stop, but the other two I think are probably trying to skip the traffic here, trying to come in early and get their pit stops done out of the way before obviously everybody else clusters in and everyone gets holed up behind each other. But oh, somebody's lost it. Scooter Paul has binned it there coming out of McLean's there. So Scooter Paul is going to drop down the order here. He's going to be way down the pack. He's come out just ahead of an Aston Martin, which has to be Glenn, because he's the only Aston in the field. So Scooter Paul there down to near the back of the pack here. But Thomas leading the race ahead of Arlamper, with Ludo and Unorthodox keeping them honest at the moment. You've got PS Vids there just behind them ahead of Guido Chris. Gary there in 7th with Matahimovic, followed by Dimenta and Tynus completing the top 10. What a start it's been from Tynus. 2 laps into the race and he's already in P10. This man never fails to disappoint here at the start of the never disappoints. Sorry, never fails to disappoint. Never disappoints on the first couple of laps, and he's currently attacking. Oh, sorry, Thomas, don't want to ban you. Sorry, mate. He's currently attacking on the back of Dimenta here for 9th place, but it's Thomas still leading ahead of Arlamper at the moment. Ludo still keeping them on their toes as well as Unorthodox. You've got a bit of a gap back to PS Vids, who's now falling off with the leaders ever so slightly here at the moment, nearly a second adrift of those 4. But lots of battles going on right now, lots to look at here. You've got Smoky Devil, who's been passed by Jazzman. Jazzman's up into 15th place. He's continuing to cut his way through the field like a hot knife through butter at the minute. So is his friend Tynus. Oh, and there's a bit of contact there between Dimenta and Tynus. And Tynus manages to get through there. Dimenta, I think, might have caught Tynus out there with his braking a little bit. And in fact, Tynus he's got that move done, but at what cost? Has he got damage there on the car maybe? Maybe a little bit of front end damage might be costing him a bit of performance here. But Tynus up into 9th place nonetheless in that one. But yeah, not what you want to be seeing here. Close to tears between those two. Ludo's very close to the back of Arlamper at the moment as they go through the foggy S. As you can see there, only 0.2 of a second between them at the moment. PS Vid's still waiting in the background there, not too far actually off of these guys, and they've now actually gapped Guido Chris a little bit here. So now PS Vids has put a bit of daylight between himself and Guido Chris. He's now joining the battle for the lead a little bit again here. Obviously it's a track that PS Vids likes a lot. I remember a couple of seasons ago he was the only driver who could keep Tynus even on the same page around this circuit, so he's a bit of a track specialist here, is PS Vids around Donington Park. Could this be the night where we see him take a win? Obviously he took the win last season at Hungaroring for the final round of the season, Also won at Laguna last season as well. Took 2 wins last season to PS Vids. So he's a man who can pop up with a win every now and then. He's got pace, and on his day, he can really put up a good fight. So yeah, it'll be interesting to keep an eye on him over the course of tonight. Hypertext into the pits here at the end of lap 3, should I say. So is that a scheduled stop or is that damage? I think that's a scheduled stop there. It doesn't look to be in too much of a bad way. But the top 5 still separated by about 2 seconds at the moment. Thomas, Ilampa, Ludo, Unorthodox and PS Vids. Gudicris is just over a second behind them. Matimovic has got Gary challenging the back of him at the moment. Tynus is trying to make a move here on Gary. And in fact, has he done it? I think has he done it? Always try and use the controller one-handed now because I've got one hand. I have to hold my studio mic in my hand because the audio quality can be a bit choppy. I have to turn it right down. As Unorthodox has lost a couple of places here. What's happened? Where's Dan? Where's Dan dropped to? Oh, he's fallen backwards here. He's dropped it somewhere. I don't know where on lap 4 of the race. And he has dropped down to at least 14th. Further than that, I think. Where has he gone to? Oh, my goodness me. Where is Dan on this leaderboard? We can see there he's been passed by another driver there. That was Cosmic Mike who just got ahead of him. So Dan is down to 19th place here in this race. And that is Chris, I think, who's coming up on the scene as well here. So Chris is going to be hoping to get him here. Has Dan got damage? Maybe a bit of damage there, which is costing him performance at this point. Is he going to have to come into the pits at the end of this lap and get that fixed? That is a nightmare for him after a really, really positive start. But if he's got a full tank of fuel, he can probably pit now, and it's not going to cost him too much in the grand scheme of things. Gary into the pits here at the end of lap 4. Surely Dan's going to be boxing at the end of this lap, you would have thought, to avoid all sorts of problems in the latter part of this race. Here he comes then. Dan's into the pits. Gets it slowed down and brings it in now. But yeah, that's a little bit of a painful situation there for him, obviously. But Thomas still leading ahead of Ilampa, just under half a second, or just over half a second between them at the moment. PS Vids is still in the back of Ludo as well. But that 5-car train for the lead is now turned into a 4-car train because Dan has obviously dropped it there somewhere. I didn't see where he dropped it, but I just saw that he was tumbling down that leaderboard, and obviously that was the reason why, because he made a mistake there on at lap 4 of the race. But Ilampa still all over the back of Thomas here as they come out the foggy S's down towards Melbourne. Oh, who's that? Somebody's in a lot of trouble there. What on earth has happened there? That is Matev there, who's got damage on the car, is it? I think he's got a bit of damage there on the rear. A bit of damage, maybe a lot. I don't know it. I mean, he's parked it. He's sort of stopped the car. So Matev seemingly in a bit of trouble here in this race. Not 100% sure exactly what's going on there with him. But yeah, he's nowhere to be seen in terms of the bigger picture in this race. But Ilampa still on the back of Thomas here as they're coming into Red Gates for the 6th time in the race. Also, Ludo's gapped PS Vids a bit over the course of this lap, just over a second between them. You've got Guido Chris there ahead of Tynus, followed by Matimovic, who's running in 7th place. Tunde still going in 8th, ahead of Dimensa. Jazzman knocking on the door of a 9th place here as he looks to the inside, coming into Red Gates. Is he going to look to try and get a run here as Dimensa a little bit wide? That's going to give Jazzman the run here, coming through Hollywoods, and Jazzman gets the move done easily there up into 9th place and can continue his progress through the pack here. Tynus is running in P6, has done the fastest lap of the race as well over the course of this one. Closing up onto the back of Guido Christ at the moment, so he's continuing to make quick progress here through the pack. But Dimensa has lost out to Jazzman as well. So Tynus and Jazzman running in 6th and 9th places at the moment. Tynus barely 5 seconds off of the lead of the race. What an unbelievable first few laps it's been from him. And at this rate, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Wouldn't be at all surprised if he manages to get himself into the lead before we get to the halfway point here. Such is his extreme pace around this circuit. We've got Mario in the comments says, sorry Andy, my game has got stuck and it didn't let me start the race. Was looking forward to the battle. Stupid game. That's Cod there, who obviously was starting from the pits and then wouldn't let him leave the pits once the green flag dropped there, which is absolutely gutting, obviously, because Cod he's had some good pace over the course of this season. He's had a couple of really good rounds, and I know that he's a fan of the British circuit, so the fact that that's happened to him is really, really unfortunate. But hopefully you can jump in back next week, Cod, and hopefully the issues with the game, hopefully whatever it is, you can get on top of it. I don't know if you know what's causing it, but hopefully we can get that sorted out for next time anyway. But Tynus moves ahead of Guido Chris up into P5, and Guido Chris there down a position. Tynus continuing to make his way through the pack very easily indeed here. Jazzman's also now ahead of Tunde. Didn't see where he got that move done, but Jazzman is now in 7th place, but he's a few seconds behind Tynus and Guido Chris at the moment, about 6 seconds behind Guido Chris at this point. So Jazzman got a little way to go before he makes another move here. in this race. Tynus is 2 seconds behind PS Fids. Give him a couple of laps and I reckon he'll be on the back of him. But Thomas in the meantime still leading ahead of Arlampa. These two battling it out, but do they know? Have they been made aware of the fact that there is a Tynus and a Jazzman charging through the pack at an alarming rate here? These two battling out the front. Probably think they're battling over the win at the moment, but at the rate that these two are going, I would say that this could be the battle for the podium place at the end. Oh, as we got Thomas here having to defend. Arlampa getting a beautiful cutback there out of Melbourne and takes the lead of the race here. He absolutely suckered him a treat there coming out of that corner, but Thomas is not giving up here. He's looking to the inside into the final corner. He sends one up the inside there as there's a bit of contact there between the two of them. Arlampa trying to hold it around the outside. Thomas gets a decent enough exit, but Arlampa with the wider line has to tuck in there as Thomas retakes the lead back again there over the line. So Thomas there not giving up in that one. Holds on to the lead into Red Gates, but Arlampa's giving it a hell of a fight here at the moment. Ludo and PS Vids there still battling over third and fourth places. There's Tynus ahead of Guido Christ. Bit of a gap back to Jazzman, who's reeling in Guido at the moment, as Dimensus closing up onto the back of Tunde in this battle for 8th place as well. But let's stick with this lead battle here, because Thomas and Arlampa continue to go at it here as they come through the old hairpin. But yeah, this is a cracking race out the front. But these two, whilst they're battling, they're going to be falling back into the clutches of drivers like Tynus and Jazzman. Tynus, as I said earlier on, has won 2 races this season from the back of the grid, and he's hoping to make it 3 from 3 races that he's actually raced in so far this season. He's tried to make a couple of the other ones, but yeah, they can only really race every 2 weeks, can Tynus and Jazzman, due to the fact that they've got commitments every other week. So they're sort of here doing a last to first challenge every other week, and so far Tynus has managed to complete that last to first challenge in both instances. But here he is on the back of PS Fids coming down towards Melbourne once again. Is he going to look to the inside? PS Fids holding it together there as they come into the corner for the time being. Thomas still just ahead of Arlampa, just under half a second between those two at the moment as they're coming into the final corner. Ludo's still keeping tabs with them at the moment. And there is that battle that we just mentioned a few moments ago. Guido Chris there running a couple of seconds further back. Jazzman not far for the lead now, probably I'd say within 10 seconds of the lead at this point. So he's hunting them down as well, but he's certainly been jumped a little bit by his friend Tynus, who is well up the road and has got a lot less cars between him and the race lead. Tunde in the meantime has still got Dimensa pressuring him for 8th place here. You've got Snoopy and Lexi mate with the Mutts Nuts as well. These three battling out over 13th places. They're coming down the start-finish straight. That's going to be one to look out for as well. Also got Gary ahead of Archie as they're battling over 20th place coming through Melbourne right now. But Tynus in the house still trying to put PS Vids under a bit of pressure here as they're coming through this tricky sequence here in towards Coppice. He's having a look to the inside. There's Tynus, and he's got the inside there, right over the curb a little bit. That was an aggressive move there from Tynus, but he's going to make this one happen, I think, as they come out onto the straight, onto this little back straight towards the Foggy S's, and Tynus has completed that move up into 4th place. Excellent stuff. PS Vid's not giving up, looking to the inside. He's not going to make it happen from there. Foggy S's, you can carry a lot of speed through there. You don't really want to be going side by side unless you're sure you can make that move. But Tynus in the house there, completing the move up into 4th place. Beautifully done there from him. And next up will be a podium position if he can get ahead of Ludo. So continuing to make light work of everything in front of him right now. The championship leader Ludo obviously won't make it easy for Tynus, but Tynus has got bigger, I think he's got bigger and better things lined up here in this race. He's looking for the win here tonight, as Thomas and Arlampa just putting a lap here on one of the back markers. Didn't quite get to see who that was as they came into turn 1. But Thomas and Arlampa still continuing to battle it out, just under a second apart at the moment. There's Ludo, who's running in that final podium place with the 3-time champion of this GT3 series here all over the back of him. Tynus in the house. And obviously Tynus, for those of you who aren't aware, not racing as a regular driver this season. Every time he's racing this season, he's doing a last to first challenge, and he's currently running in 4th place from 22nd on the grid, which is just unthinkable really, isn't it? But Guido Chris has managed to close up onto the back of PS Vids here, and Jazzman is coming through all of them. In fact, Jazzman fastest lap of the race that last time around there, so Jazzman is gaining now as well, showing that he's definitely got the win in his sights as well. He's not going to give Tynus an easy run at this, neither of any of the drivers in front of Tynus either. So, you know, this is not an easy track to overtake here at Donington, that's for sure. These Tynus and Jazzman are not going to have it all their own way. If the drivers in front of them can keep it together and not make mistakes, then it's not going to be given to them on the plate. Certainly not. It's going to be a fight, this race. Thomas and Arlampa are going to make it as hard as they can. And Arlampa's dropping off a little bit off at the back of Thomas at the moment. Thomas has just put the hammer down over the last couple of laps, maybe just trying to make a break for it while he can, before Tynus and Jazzman are in clean air chasing after him. But Arlampa here being the thorn in the side at the moment for the likes of Tynus, obviously Ludo as well. Guido Chris is now right on the back of PS Vids. Jazzman will be on the back of that train in a moment. That'll be a 3-way battle for P5 in a second. But the battle for second place between Arlampa, Ludo and Tynus continuing to rage on. Thomas still continuing to just eke out that gap to these at the moment. For those of you currently tuning in on YouTube, hopefully you guys are enjoying. If you're watching for the first time, be sure to join our Discord server. If you go to www.motiveracing.co.uk, you can join our Discord server through our website. And we're going to hopefully be just starting up a GT2 championship next season on Wednesday nights. Obviously, you can see this one's full, and most weeks it is full, unfortunately. But Wednesday nights, hopefully we'll have a GT2 championship going. So that will give a chance for all those who miss out on the Sundays to at least get some racing here in on the Motive Racing YouTube channel. Got lots of stuff, exciting stuff. I mean, we were on F1 on Friday night. I obviously stream the Purple Sector F1 League on Tuesdays and Thursdays. To be honest, if we got a big community on ACC, I'm more than happy to set up some more championships. You know, this isn't the be-all end-all. I'd love to set something up on Wednesday, as I said, but you know, even Monday potentially, or maybe not Monday, but maybe Saturday. Who knows? You know, there's plenty of potential for sure. But Guido Christian looking on the back of PS Fit into turn 1. Jazzman is now on the rear of these as well, as Ludo is has been passed by Tynus. So Tynus up into third place. He's made that move there on Ludo as Tynus in the house. He's now into the podium places, and he's also now on the back of Arlampa as well. So he's wasted no time in pulling up onto the back of the next driver in succession for Tynus's overtaking exploits here. In the meantime, Thomas has done bits over the last couple of laps. He's done exactly what he needs to do. He's managed to pull that gap out to Arlampa. Oh, Arlampa wide there, and Tynus is going to seize on that up into second place without any further ado, and he makes absolutely light work at that one. Tynus did not need a second invitation there. Takes second place in the race. He's now only 3 seconds off for the lead here on lap 12. What an incredible first opening stint to this race. Thomas is now going to see the next driver behind him is Tynus in the house. Just under 4 seconds in the gap here. So Thomas is now going to have to put to the floor. Oh, as Ludo, was that Ludo? I think Ludo went straight on there, was it? It was Ludo, yeah. So Ludo there running over the grass there in the background. PS Vid still just ahead of Guido Christ and Jazzman. In fact, Jazzman's got ahead of Guido Christ up into P6 as they're coming through Melbourne. So Jazzman now onto the back of PS Vids, but Ludo dropping a little bit back into the clutches of these here due to that mistake going through the foggy S's. Thomas coming over the line here to complete lap 12 of the race, and he is currently 3.2 seconds ahead of Tynus in the house. So Tynus gained half a second through that final sector there. He is coming for the race leader, and he's coming in for him at a rate of knots at the moment. He is absolutely flying right now. He's Tynus in the house. Got Tunde and Meridoise here battling over 8th and 9th places here. You got also the Mutsnuts on the back of Snoopy as they're coming into the final corner. As the Mutsnuts sending one up the inside there of Snoopy. Is he going to make that move? He's going to make it happen there. Mutsnuts with a beautiful overtake there as they come over the line, and Mutsnuts up into 13th place without too much hassle there. Excellent stuff there from him. Thomas and Tynus separated by 3 seconds at the moment. You've got Ludo just trying to close back up onto the rear of Arlampa. Jazzman's picked off PS Fitz up into P5 as well. So now Jazzman closing up onto the back of Ludo already here. These are not far off Arlampa as well. So Jazzman now looking at a podium place. You can see Arlampa, the third place man, just 2 cars ahead of him at the moment. Keeping an eye on Thomas and Tynus because the gap at the end of the previous lap was 3.1 seconds. What is it now? Let's have a look at that timing board. 2.2. So Tynus took an absolute huge chunk of time out of Tynus on that lap. Nearly a second he was quicker than Thomas. So Tynus is absolutely on a mission here in this race. I'll be surprised if he's not leading by the halfway point here, if I'm perfectly honest with you. It's a matter of when for me. Tynus in the house takes the lead of this race. Ludo in the meantime has dropped off at the back of our Lamper a little bit. Jazzman is keeping Ludo on his toes here. Well within a second of him at the moment. PS Fids and GT3 still waiting in the wings behind these. Top 7 separated by about 6 or 7 seconds at the moment. So they're all quite close to the lead pack at the moment. But Tynus is definitely bridging that gap to Thomas here out the front. You can see there Thomas just going through the foggy S's. There's Tynus in the background. Gap 1.7 seconds now. Tynus is continuing to reel that gap down as he might have just overstepped track limits there a little bit on the second part of the foggy S's. That looked to me like it was borderline there from Tynus in the house. Smokey in the meantime has got Snoopy on the back of him in the battle for 12th and 13th places. We'll keep an eye on that one as it continues to develop. Ludo's got Jazzman all over the back of him as they're going through Melbourne as well. Here come the top 2 then coming through the final corner up towards the line. The gap is just over a second. I make that, yeah, 1.1. So again, another second that Tynus has taken out of Thomas here. Thomas is going to have to try and park his car in the way here. He's best off not trying to go for pace. His best hope isn't trying to pull away from Tynus. It's going to be just to try and make sure there's no gaps forming. Around a track like Donington, you can do it. Even if you're a second lap slower, you can stay ahead just by being very clever about how you position your car. But the question is, can Thomas keep that up for 40 minutes? That's going to be probably about 28 laps. So that's going to be a tall ask. Always a bit of contact there. Jazzman forces his way through ahead of Ludo. He's made that position there up into 4th place. There's Ludo got pushed onto the grass a little bit. Maybe just a bit of a rubbings racing between the two of them. But nonetheless, Jazzman now into 4th place and can now chase after the final podium runner in our Lamper. I was saying earlier on how Thomas's battle with our Lamper could be what was for the lead, could have been for the final podium place, and it's definitely transpired that way at the moment, with Jazzman now well within a second of our Lamper, but Thomas is now 5 seconds up the road from our Lamper. So it's looking like it's unlikely that our Lamper's going to push Thomas, at least at this point in the race, much for what's probably going to be 3rd place in this race, I would expect at this point. Hopefully Jazzman can give Tynus a bit of a run here. Tynus is currently being held up by Thomas, and fingers crossed Thomas can hold this for as long as he can here. Let's see what Thomas can do. Let's see what defensive manoeuvres Thomas has got in his arsenal here, because this is going to be fascinating to see how long he can keep Tynus at bay. Our Lamper and Jazzman still battling over 3rd and 4th places. You've got GT3 looking to the inside area. PS Fids into turn 1. Is he going to go and send one up the inside? He's going to try it here, and PS Fids a little bit wide there on the exit of turn 1. GT3 is now well alongside here, coming through Hollywoods. PS Fids manages to hold it around the outside with some decent momentum there as they now come through down towards the old hairpin, and PS Fids still running in 6th place at the moment, just about managing to cling onto that position by the skin of his teeth there. Jazzman in the meantime is all over the back of our Lamper in this battle for the podium places here. But PS Fids and Gidacris having a great little battle here for P6 and 7 at this point. Thomas and Tynus separated by just under 4/10 of a second right now, as Tynus is getting closer to the back of Thomas here, coming down towards the foggy S's. He's going to have a look to the inside. He's going to throw a little feint there, just keeping him on his toes there. Thomas doesn't take the bait for the time being, but how many more times is Thomas going to have to deal with that? And Tynus managing to get a fantastic run there out of the foggy S's. Here we go then, side by side, coming into the braking zone. Thomas gives him the space on the inside. This is going to be Tynus for the lead. Thomas is going to try and go for a cutback. Can he do it though? I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Tynus makes the move for the lead, and that is job done. And that, I think, is going to be see you later, bye-bye here from Tynus in the house. He has got the move done. He's chased everybody down. He now leads the race here at the end of lap 16. We're not even halfway into this race. He's gone from 22nd place on the grid, and he leads the race here. What can we make of this man? What an incredible talent he is behind a sim racing car. Tynus in the house leads here. Jazzman is now ahead of our Lamper in 3rd place. So Jazzman within 4.5 seconds of Tynus. The question is, can Jazzman take this fight to Tynus over the course of the rest of this race? Both of these two world-class sim racers. Both of them really probably the best two on PlayStation, I would say, by quite some way as well. They're definitely on the level of what you would expect from pro sim racers on the PC. That's definitely where they're at in terms of their talent. And Tynus in the house leading the race here on lap 17. But Jazzman's going to come after him. You can bet on that. You'll have to negotiate Thomas first though, and if Tynus is anything to go by, then Thomas is not going to make it easy for Jazzman. But 14 if you're currently watching on stream. Hopefully you guys are enjoying what you're watching right now. We've got Tynus in the house leading the race, but his old rival not too far down the road in 3rd place. So this is far from over just yet. We don't know what the strategies are. We don't know who's going to be running full tanks, who's managed to half tank it, who's going to be changing tyres. All that stuff will come out in the wash before we get to the end. So stay tuned, because there is a long way to go yet. Oh, it's Lexi, mate, getting it a bit wrong there. He's actually already been passed by Cosmic Mike, I think. Cosmic Mike is now running in 14th, I think. Yeah. No, Cosmic Mike must have dropped it, actually, because he was just behind Lexi, mate, at the last checkpoint, but now he's nowhere near him. So actually, Cosmic Mike, I think, dropped it through the middle sector somewhere. Yeah, he has. He's dropped behind Matahimovic. Matahimovic is the highest runner at the pit stop driver, so he came in for a relatively early pit stop. Not in a bad position at the moment to make something happen. We're going to have to keep an eye on him as this unfolds. Smokey, in the meantime, is on the back of Snoopy. Both of these two still yet to pit, though, in this battle for 12th place. Error code now pressuring the back of Cosmic Mike after Cosmic Mike's mistake. Lap or so ago. Well, it was on this lap, actually, so it wasn't a lap or so ago. Error code into the pits here at the end of lap 17. Oh, somebody's gone wide there. Who was that? Somebody got well out of shape there. Going from Melbourne, not quite sure. Everybody's a bit spread out at the moment. There's not really too much going on at this point. Error code in the pits. He's just coming out of the pits now, so he's done that mandatory. Maria Louise has got a drive-through penalty for track limits. As PS Fids and Gita Chris battling here into turn 1. And PS Fids trying to go around the outside of Gita Chris here. Gita Chris holding the inside line. PS Fids obviously was ahead over the line, so Gita Chris has made that move actually up into P5 as they come through into the old hairpin. Gita Chris there, upper position. Nicely done there. Mary Louise has done his drive-through penalty, so that's now completed there for him. Jazzman in the meantime is now on the back of Thomas. I tell you what, Jazzman seems like he's got better pace than Tynus at this point as well. Slightly quicker. He's been over the last few laps. The gap was about 4.5 seconds. It's now 4.2. So Jazzman's been chipping away bit by bit to the race leader. But obviously, now that he's behind Thomas, he's on the back of him. He might be held up a little bit here. But he'll be looking to try and make this move as quickly as he possibly can and go after his old rival here. Driving in the Ferrari. He's got a lot of confidence in the Ferrari. He's very quick in this car. He's very quick in everything he drives, but some cars, we find that consistency can be a bit wanting. Oh, it's close there. Lap car, they're getting well out of the way. Jazzman though making a move down the inside there into Coppice on Thomas. Does he go a little bit wide on the exit? No, he gets it turned in beautifully there, does Jazzman. Job done there up into 2nd place. Now he can chase after his old rival Tynus. These two have got 7 championships in the GT3 here at Motive between them here on ACC. Jazzman a 4-time champion. Tynus has won the last 3 though. Jazzman has had a rough last few seasons. 2 of the seasons he raced in a car which he wasn't that comfortable in. He raced in the Honda for half a season, then ended up changing car, lost all his points due to that. And yeah, just he's had seasons where he's put himself out of his comfort zone and ultimately hasn't been able to string a championship together. Tynus is just ultra consistent, and although I would say on balance, I would say Jazzman has the slight edge in pace. Tynus is often the man who can just keep it together over the course of a full race distance. He's the more consistent of the two. Jazzman's the quicker, I would say. That's my observation. That's the difference between them. But yeah, Jazzman at the moment, I think he's lapping quicker than Tynus. He obviously lost a bit of time behind Thomas there, so the gap's just over 5 seconds. But over the course of the next half an hour, the question is, can Jazzman bridge that gap down and keep himself out of trouble and not make any mistakes at the same time? But PS5 still on the back of GT3 in the P5. 2 days into the pits here at the end of lap 20. So he becomes the next driver to make a mandatory here. Archie is on the back of Gary here as they're coming into the final corner. Gary trying to park his car on the inside. Leximate still yet to pit just in front of them. And Leximate now coming into the pits to make his mandatory pit stop. But Gary's still ahead of Archie in that battle at the moment. These two obviously both been into the pits. Will both gain a few places, I reckon, when the drivers in front come in. Not sure where they're going to come out once all is said and done, though. We'll have to wait and see. Probably, I'd say, near the top 10, maybe top 10. It'll be close. Here we've got Matt Immovich closing up onto the back of Mary Louise. Obviously, Mary Louise still yet to pit, so Matt won't want to waste too much time here behind him. Wanting to get this done as quickly as he can and proceed on to the next big thing here. PS5 still on the back of GT3, still no change there between those two. Ludo, the championship leader, running in P7 at the moment. Consistent, strong points scoring as things stand here in this one. But if things finish the way they are right now, he will lose his record of finishing in the top 5 at every race this season. He's taken a podium in 4 out of the 5 races this season, so that'll be 4 out of 6 after tonight if things stay as they are. But nonetheless, he is almost certainly on his way to a championship this season. His closest challenger in the championship, Matt Immovich, who's running in 11th place. So they're saying that Matt's already been into the pits, so he could actually be quite high flying by the time we get to the end of this race. Oh, we've got a move being shaped up. That's Tuna there putting a lap on Scooter at Paul, which he's managed to do so. As GT3 and PS5 moving ahead there of the lap car of Cosmic Crusader there. Cosmic Crusader's had a patchy season this season, to be fair. Had a really strong showing at the end of last season. Raced at Suzuka, I remember. He did a fantastic job at Suzuka last season. He had moments last season, but this season hasn't had the consistency. It'd be good to see him put in a worldy performance before the end of this season. Quite a vocal presence on the Discord server, often sharing tips and tricks and advice and stuff in the server. Very enthusiastic sim racer. As we've got Murray Louise into the pits here at the end of lap 23. PS5 still putting the pressure here on GT3 at the moment. Snoopy's got Matt Immovich all over the back of him here as they come down towards the Foggy S's. He's looking to the outside there, getting a beautiful slipstream there, slingshotting him, coming into the Foggy S's. Round the outside he goes. Matt Immovich up into P9 with a lovely manoeuvre there. And having pitted already, he's in a really strong position here in this race. I'm looking forward to seeing where he comes out once everybody in front of him is pitted, because I reckon he's going to be in a really strong position here in this race. But Matahimovic there up into P10. I believe he's got fresh tyres, or maybe not, because he came in quite early actually. He came in well before the halfway point, so I'm not sure. Not sure on that one actually. But Matt is, I reckon he could be in a battle for the top 5 in this race potentially. Again, not sure. It's quite a short pit lane here, so you don't lose too much time in the pits. Probably about 30 seconds. It might be close, I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know for sure. But yeah. PSV's still all over the back of Gilchrist here as he come through the Melbourne into the final corner, but hasn't been able to come back at him over the last few laps. Gilchrist got ahead of him a few laps ago, and since then has held position. And PSV dives into the pits here at the end of lap 25. So that is our Season 2 champion here on the PS5 into the pits. And Gilchrist continues on his way for the time being. Snoopy on the back of Tunde here in the battle for P10 as well. Gary's managed to gap Archie a little bit in the battle for P13. I said before, there could be a top 10 by the end of the race if Remster comes out behind them. I reckon Snoopy and Smokey will definitely come out behind him, but if he can come out ahead of Remster, then this will be a battle for P10, Gary and Archie. But there is nearly 2 seconds between them, so Gary's looking quite safe in that one for the time being. Meridowies has got Dimenta all over the back of him in the battle for 17th place. These two coming into Melbourne right now. There's a, I think one of the leaders here just behind them as well. It's Guido Chris who's just on the back of them. Dimenta getting a bit closer here to the back of Meridowies into turn 1. Guido Chris will be wanting to try and keep out of the way, and will be wanting to try and get past them as easily as he can here. So they come through into the Craners and towards the old hairpin once again. Dimenta's got a good cut back there. Maybe might have a chance here coming up the hill. Can he get alongside Meridowies here? Meridowies holding his ground here at the moment. And Dimenta has to continue to just tuck in a little bit longer here. But here comes Guido Chris. He'll be looking to get past as soon as he can here and waste minimal time, because he's in a battle for 5th place in this race with PS Vids as well. Those two running close before PS Vids came into the pits. So this is crucial now for Guido Chris. He's got to get this move done. And he now gets ahead. So he's made the move down Dimenta. Now he needs to get ahead of Meridowies as well. Just to update you all, I think Matimovic is too far behind Guido Chris and Ludo to be in a battle for P5. But I think he's potentially in a fight with PS Vids for 7th. So yeah, I think he's got a chance at that one. And that's nuts. Is P15. He's got a drive-through penalty for track limits here. He's already been in for his pit stop, but he's got to now come in and do a drive-through at some point within the next 3 laps there for overstepping the white line's a little bit too much, I would imagine. Keeping an eye on the battle at the front here, because the gap's coming down continuously between Tynus and Jazzman. Bit by bit, Jazzman is chipping away at your race leader. These two started both near the back of the pack. They're running in 1st and 2nd right now. It's going to be between them for the win. But Jazzman is doing his best to stake a claim for it being him here tonight who takes that win. So Mutt's doing his drive-through. Oh, and Dimension's got a drive-through as well. In the midst of his battle with Mary Louise, he's picked up a drive-through. Mutt's has done that drive-through. Lucky here at Donington if you get a drive-through, because it hardly costs you anything. It's such a short pit lane. It probably only costs you about 15 seconds, if that. So it really is just a get yourself in, get yourself back out. Simple, easy, done kind of job. Ramster here in the pits at the end of lap 27. Dimension's come out just behind Error Code here in this battle for what's going to be 18th place now. Oh no! Who's binned it into the barriers there? That is not massive. Oh, it's PS Vids! PS Vids in his battle with Guido Christ, obviously for what was going to be P5 in the race. And that's now him out of that fight there. PS Vids was the highest running pit stop runner before that. That's going to give Matahimovic another position here in this race. It will give him P7 on the plate. PS Vids with big damage. Surely he's going to have to pit again. If he doesn't, it's going to lose him time. He's only 4 seconds ahead of Matt now. Matt's going to pick him off quite soon, you would imagine. With that damage on the front of the Ferrari there of PS Vids, that's going to be crabbing a lot here. And Tunde becomes the next driver to pick up a drive-through penalty here. Gary in the meantime putting up onto the back of Smokey. Smokey's still yet to pit as well. Archie just over 2 seconds behind Gary. The gap's staying around the same between Gary and Archie at the moment. Archie starting to find a little bit of pace here, I think. Because it started off, Gary was initially a bit quicker than Archie, but now it appears they're quite evenly matched for pace as Archie there moves aside for the race leader Tynus. And Jazzman will be coming up on the scene shortly as well. He's not too far behind there. You can see Tynus going through the traffic there. There is second place man Jazzman, so he is continuing to hunt him down here towards the end of this race. PS Vids and Tunde both in the pits. PS Vids has done his pit stop, or he's in the pits doing his pit stop now. Tunde's done his drive through, he's off and away. Gary here getting a decent exit on the back of Smokey out of Coppice. Looking to the outside, surely Smokey's not going to fight this one too hard. He knows he's got a pit. He lets Gary go there sensibly there. Although Gary's got a bit of damage on the front end of the car. I don't know if he's just picked that up or if he's had that for a while. Archie's dropped off of Gary, so I think Archie's made a mistake because he's now in the midst of a load of traffic. I think some of them are leaders, some of them are back markers. One of them is Lexi, mate. One of them is Scooter at Paul. Those two battling over 26th and 27th places actually. But PS Vids still in the pits, getting his pit stop, getting his what's it called, damage fixed. Snoopy coming in for his mandatory. Tunde's on the back of Archie. That one's for position actually as well, for 11th place. He's Marie-Louise on the back of Snoopy here. These two battling here side by side coming up the hill. Snoopy with big damage there on the car. Marie-Louise makes that move up into 14th place with the damage, obviously. It's going to make it difficult for Snoopy, but Snoopy getting a beautiful cutback there. Coming up the hill through McLean's. Here we come in towards Coppice, and he's done that one back on him there. Beautifully there, does Snoopy. Despite a battered up front end, he's managing to make a real fight at this one for 14th place. Marie-Louise can't complete that move for the time being as they come down towards the fog. Yes, he's having a look to the inside, but he's too far back there. Not going to make that happen from there. Smokey into the pits at the end of lap 31. Marie-Louise too far away from Snoopy coming down towards Melbourne. And Snoopy's got that one held for the time being. Gap between Tynus and Jazzman just under 3 seconds at the moment. Tynus is managing to respond to Jazzman's pace here. He's holding it. He's holding the gap consistently at the moment. Smokey's now been into the pits. That's now his pit stop done. Matt's now running in 7th place with PS Fids having a bit of a crash and dropping down the order there. PS Fids now running in 22nd place in the race. What a disaster there for him. Got to keep an eye on the gap between Ludo and Matt, because I think Ludo will come out comfortably in P6 ahead of Matt, but I'm not 100% on that. But Ludo's just coming to the end of the first sector now. And Matt's just coming into the final corner, so I'd say that's a good 40 seconds between them on the track. Ludo just going through Coppice, Matt just coming over the start-finish line, so yeah, I reckon Ludo's going to come out way ahead. Way ahead. Probably about 15 seconds, 10, 15 seconds ahead. Oh, he's being unlapped there. I think it's PS Fids unlapping himself. It is, yeah. PS Fids there. Getting back ahead. PS Fids getting in amongst it here in the fight with Arlampa and Guido Christ as well, potentially. Because those guys are only a couple of seconds up the road there, running in 4th and 5th. But oh, Ludo's made a mistake there, going out the final corner. Oh, he's got it all wrong there. Into the pits he comes, saving his blushes there. PS Fids though trying to unlap himself on a couple of drivers here. The Mutts Nuts and Sean, who are battling over 11th place here. Sean looking up the inside there. Mutt's not quite in a position to make that happen. Mutt's there, holding his line, holding his nerve there. PS Fids waiting to unlap himself if he can on the back of these. So he's got a decent run here now. Sean is going to not defend it. He's going to leave the door open for PS Fids. Into the fog, yes, as we go. PS Fids thinks better about sending one there. Knows he's a lap down and knows that it'd be a controversial one if he were to cause any problems here. Smokey just over a second ahead of Snoopy as they're going through Melbourne. Marie-Louise there about a second ahead of Remster, but that gap's now a lot less than that, so Remster is definitely closing up onto the back of Marie-Louise here. Ericode's got a drive-through penalty for track limits as well. That's another driver who's got to come in and do a drive-through. Oh, Mary Louise here looking up the inside of Snoopy into the Foggy S's. He's going to send one up the inside there, and he's going to make that one beautifully there. There's Mary Louise up into 14th place. There's Snoopy there, a little bit wide on the exit, the Foggy S's. He's now got Mary Louise attacking on him as well. Remster, sorry, attacking the back of him. Mary Louise just got ahead of him. Remster to the outside into Melbourne, looking for a cut back here, can't do it. And Snoopy holds on for that one, but Mary Louise up into 14th place. Remster looking to try and follow him through if he can. Snoopy holding firm ahead of him for the time being. Past 4. Is that 10 or 11? Jeez. Oh, that's fine, that's fine. If it helps you, it helps you when going to have it's more beneficial. If it's better for me to be on this, I'll roll with that, but it's better for me to be at Abbott's. If I go to Abbott's, it's better for me. It's not really it's better for me to go to Abbott's. Sorry guys, I had to pick that up. I can't mute my mic anymore when I get a phone call because basically all my controls are on my PC, but my HDMI cable is plugged in to my PS5, and I can only have one thing. I've only got one HDMI cable, so I can only have one thing plugged in at a time. My PC screen's smashed in, so I can't use it unless it's plugged into the TV. And so as a result of that, it basically means that I have to use one or the other, and whenever I get a phone call now, I have to just leave the call going because I don't do the comms through my controller. I do the comms through my computer. So my microphone's plugged into the computer because for some reason, whenever I used to do the comms on the PS5, my mic would crackle non-stop, and it would be like it'd be horrible. Like every few seconds or every time something exciting happened, you just see. So it was like I realised it wasn't doing it on the PS4, so I tried it on the PC and realised it wasn't doing it on the PC either. It was only the PS5 that had that issue, so yeah, I thought it's best off having some good audio quality. But Remster there making a move on Mary Louise up into 13th place. But Mary Louise trying to come back at him here as they come down towards the Foggy S's, as they're side by side here. Mary Louise trying to come back around the outside here. Remster has the inside line covered off though and gets that one held onto. He goes a little bit wide there, going out the Foggy S's, and Mary Louise is going to seal on that surely. Looking down the inside into Melbourne, and he makes that move there, back up into 13th place. Mary Louise goes wide, really wide there from Mary Louise, and Remster there back up into 13th place. As these two chopping and changing right now. Is he still on the inside? He is still there, isn't he? Oh my god. How the hell are they still side by side? Where are Louise there? Oh, down the inside. Rems is going to get the better exit and down the start finish straight, and they're still going to be side by side down towards Red Gates. Come on, guys, figure it out. Who's going to lead the way? Where are Louise there? Tucks it into 13th place ahead of Bremster, and that's job done there for him. Whilst those two battling, it's bringing Smokey and Snoopy more and more into this fight here. These two running a P15 and 16. Oh, Smokey there getting a bit out of shape. Oh no! Oh, Smokey's completely binned it there onto the grass. And Snoopy there moves through up into P15. No dramas there for Snoopy. And Smokey there dropping down to P16. He's well ahead of Dimenta. Obviously, he's got a bit of damage, but didn't go into the wall on that occasion. So gets away without further damage. But should be able to bring it around for P16 at the end of this race. Only a couple of laps left in this one. Only 4 minutes left on the clock. As Thomas here into the pits. So Thomas making his mandatory. Obviously he had to make that at some point. Lamper and Gita Chris is still going to make their mandatory pits as well here. Jazzman came into the pits, didn't actually see him come in at any point, but Jazzman's already been in, so he could have been chipping away at Tynus's gap since he came into the pits. So this could be close when Tynus comes in for his pit stop. This could be very close here. If Jazzman's managed to get the undercut here on Tynus, that could be massive. He will win this race if he has. Keep a close eye on Tynus when he comes into the pits, because he could be very close with Jazzman. Thomason nonetheless has done his pit stop. He's now running in 5th as things stand. In fact, no, he's come up behind Ludo. So Ludo's got the jump here on Thomas. So is Ludo now running in a net 3rd place here? This could be huge. Ludo ahead of Thomas unmistakably there. Now where are Lamper and Guido going to come out in this? Are either of these two going to be on the podium? If it's going to be one of them, it's going to be Ludo. But is Ludo close enough to Lamper and Guido to come out ahead of them when they come into the pits? If they are, if he is, and he's ahead of both of them, then he'll be on the podium. When is the race leader going to come in though? Tynus in the house is coming through the middle sector at the moment. He's got to come in either this lap or the next. Lamper into the pits here this time around. Now where's he going to come out in relation to Ludo? Ludo could have got himself a podium here, and if he does, that'll be... Oh, so he goes straight on over the foggy S's there. That's not what we're going to be doing there. If Ludo can get a podium here tonight, that will be his 5th podium from 6 races here this season, which is absolutely fantastic consistency. Lamper's now off and away. Ludo's nowhere near him, so Thomas must have had a horror show in the pits. Not sure what he did in the pits, but he clearly had the wrong strategy enabled, because Lamper's coming through turn 2. Ludo just coming into turn 1 now. Thomas just under 3 seconds behind him in P6. So I'm not sure what Thomas did in the pits, but to come out behind Ludo was a bit of a shock, and Lamper well ahead. So it's going to be between Guido Christ and Lamper for the podiums. Here's Tynus then, the race leader, into the pits at the end of lap 40. So what is going to happen here? Tynus is now in the box. Jazzman coming into the final corner. This is going to be very close. This is going to be incredibly tight here. Tynus is now off and away. Where is Jazzman? Jazzman's coming over the start-finish line. Tynus off the limiter now, is he? Is he off the limiter? He's now off the limiter. Where's Jazzman? He's coming into turn 1. Oh, it's going to be very, very close. And Jazzman's done it! Down the inside goes Jazzman into turn 1. Is this job done? It is job done! Jazzman takes the lead. This is the final lap of the race here. Unbelievable scenes. As he's been closing in over the course of the last few laps since he made his pit stop, and Jazzman has taken the lead on the final lap of the race. He has not led a single lap of this race until now. Tynus is going to push him all the way here. These two old rivals are going to go at it on the final lap here at Donington Park. Jazzman now has to defend the inside line. Tynus is going to go for a run up the hill. He's going to try and go around the outside here. Jazzman parks his car on the inside through McLean's. Bit of contact. Tynus had nowhere to go. Jazzman has stolen it from Tynus on the final lap. Did Tynus expect it? Did he know that Jazzman was doing bits over the last few laps, having done his pit stop? Jazzman has made the undercut work brilliantly here as they're coming down towards the fog. Yes, he's on the final lap. Can Tynus throw one up the inside? Can he force Jazzman into a mistake here? Coming through the final few corners. Jazzman has come from nowhere in this race. He was a few seconds behind Tynus. He was always just a step behind Tynus over the course of this race. But in this final stint, seems to have pulled it out of the bag here. Into Melbourne we go as Jazzman parks it on the inside and Tynus can't get it around him here. Here we go then. Final couple of corners here for Jazzman. And I think he has managed to nick this race in the very last lap here. Tynus looking to the outside. Into the final corner we go. Contact there. Oh, and Tynus there spins him around. And he's going to have to give him that back. He's going to have to give him that back. And he does though. He does so. Good sportsmanship there. Jazzman is your winner here at Donington Park with Tynus over in second place. Jazzman from nowhere, your race winner here. Fantastic last lap battle there between those two. Archie comes over a lap down in 10th place. It's going to be Guido Crystal complete the podium by the looks of it ahead of Arlampa. Ericode finishes in 20th, 2 laps down. Hypertech 21st. PS Fids 22nd. Mutsnuts comes over a lap down in 11th. Ahead of Sean and Remster, who come over in 12th and 13th places here. Scooter Paul's finished 3 laps down in 24th. Arlampa P4 in the end. Smoky Devil, sorry. Yeah, Mary Louise, Snoopy, Smoky Devil finishing a lap down. Matev 17th, a lap down also. Thomas and Ludo finished in 5th and 6th. Diamenta over a lap down in 18th. Glenn 3 laps down in the end, 24th for him. No, I'm not sure because a few people have left now, so it's a bit confusing. Chris coming into the final corner, 2 laps down. It's going to cross over the line now. Gary next over. P7 for Gary. Toondale finished this one in 8th place. Cosmic Mike's crossed the line in 17th, a lap down. And that is that then, guys, for tonight. But what a finish that was here at Motive for round 6 of the GT3s here for season 7 on the PS5. And Jazzman managing to get it by the skin of his teeth ahead of Tynus in the house. What a great battle there between these two. 7 times champions between them. 4-time champion Jazzman, 3-time champion Tynus. And that was epic there. And I kind of knew it was coming. I kind of noticed that the gap was a bit less than a pit stop between the two of them, and I knew that Jazzman had a chance. And they came into the turn 1 side by side on the final lap. Jazzman sent it up the inside, just fully went for it, nothing to lose, and has got the win as a result of it. Fantastic last lap overtake there from Jazzman to take the victory here at Donington Park. Tynus second, Guido Chris completing the podium a long way back, best of the rest there. But thanks everybody for watching here live on the Motive Racing channel. If you did enjoy, please do slap a like on the video. To the drivers watching this back, hopefully you did enjoy it. And please do share it with your friends, family, and otherwise associates. Also close finishes there. Thomas and Ludo only 2 tenths apart. Matimovic and Gary very close there at the end as well. But these two, Jazzman and Tynus, putting on a fantastic show. Thanks everybody once again. We'll be back next week as always for the GT3 Championship at the same time as always, 8:30 PM UK time here. We will be live at Brands Hatch, so we'll be in the UK still next week, and then the final round of the season in 2 weeks' time we'll be at Suzuka in Japan. But thanks everybody again. We'll see you all very soon. Take it easy and good night.